Hi and welcome. I hope you're sticking with me because we're having the celebrity cook-off. No prizes, mind you, we do like letters, but my special chef today is going to be none other than Mariner Bill Kernahan. And of course, thanks to Bill, or not Bill, you didn't bring the groceries, Bill. We had Larry Cairns from Loeb's IGA provide the groceries. Thanks to him very much. Bill, I saw a hawk on the set. What happened?
He heard that I was cooking chicken today and asked if he could come.
That's one of your carvings?
That's right. Yeah, I do wood carvings, and naturally I brought them to. I never lose an opportunity.
No, I guess not. Bill,
we're gonna do a wooden loon today. We're gonna actually cook a wooden loon.
Oh no, you're going to cook chicken. Now this is in the process of becoming a wooden loon?
Well, actually it's already wood, but it's in the process of looking like a half-sized one.
Okay.
But this is, some of the burning process is done already on this bird, and it shows you some of
there it is.
the detail that is put into some of the carvings.
Looks like a duck bill.
A duckbill.
This is going to be a hard one to do, Bill.
I know, this is going to be tough. But anyway, we actually are doing chicken today, and it's a curry chicken dish.
Okay.
That I stole, because I'm around here all this time, I stole the idea from Faye.
Faye Clack?
Faye Clack.
Good.
Sure. And,
she'll love to get that name credit.
Yeah, sure, why not?
What the heck, eh?
I was going to do a wooden chicken, but the knives aren't sharp enough around here.
And how did you convince the hawk to stay on his perch while you're cooking this chicken?
Well, we'll see if he does. I just want to show you something else, and I want to give you something else.
Oh.
This was done. This is my little gift to you. And
Really?
This is a flower done out of sumac. You see sumac growing on the sides of our highways.
It's a wooden flower.
And it's a wooden flower, and there's a technique to doing this type of carving.
Oh.
Actually, it's very easy. It's if you have the right wood. And we have this type of wood here that we can
How
do.
did you? Oh, that's
It's done with
gorgeous.
it's put in a little jig, and the end is done with a gouge, and you just shave these little curls off, and they curl as you're shaving them off.
It looks like a it's absolutely gorgeous. The color is something you've added.
Well, yeah, it's
You dip
painted
it?
afterwards, and no, it just sprayed.
And that's part of the technique. That you can learn this at the would-be
Sure.
carvers.
Yeah, we do all kinds of different kinds of carving. We just don't do birds or animals, or there's relief carving. And
I
all kinds
love
of
that.
things that we do.
Did you say that was for me?
So that's for you.
I thank you very much, Bill. That is absolutely beautiful.
Now I think I'd better set these knives to work and
I'll put him over here by the hawk.
and get at doing this dish. Like I say, this is a chicken curry dish, and it's really unusual because we use there's apples in it, and it gives it a really different flavor, not like any curry that I've tasted before. What I'm doing is I'm just going to chop a couple of these onions into fairly rough pieces, more like chunks rather than slices. And
They're just cooking onions, eh, Bill?
these are just cooking onions. And we'll get these going in the pan, saute these.
Yeah, you know, I'm always amazed at your family, Karen and April and yourself, because you're I've never seen such a family to be involved with so many things. I love that. I think
Oh yeah,
that's
we
great.
do really keep active, and
Yeah. Well, you were sailboating for years, the
That's
two of
right,
you, and then April came along, and
she sailed right along with us.
yeah, now she's carving as well.
Paula, which is the hottest here?
That's it. You only have to turn it on.
The little circle's the hottest. When my hand burns, it's
You haven't got it very hot, though. It's not turned up too high. You have to turn it up to the big.
the big zeros?
The big ones.
Okay, here we
there
go.
we
To the big
go.
zeros.
That's red hot.
Now,
Now,
turn this
that's
up.
going to be hot.
Turn this up and put a little butter in the pan.
With a little bit of
Some
oil.
little cholesterol with a little bit of oil. This would be almost cholesterol-free.
Notice how often he gets that would be in there.
Would be almost a cholesterol-free diet except for the butter.
Except for the butter. Well, we'll ignore the butter today. Actually, we're not doing it. We're doing it fun-wise and taste-wise. And I think people, when they're home, they can look after their cholesterol and not worry about all this.
Well, like I say, this dish could be done almost cholesterol-free without the butter, and a little bit of light oil or olive oil would suffice to to get.
Well, the light olive oil apparently has very, very little cholesterol
that's right,
in it, very little fat.
People are
so
really conscious today about.
I think so, and they should be too.
But this time of year, around Christmas and the holidays,
That's what I
it's time
mean.
to forget that and break your diet
Yeah.
a little bit.
But I think we have to have a little bit of fun time.
Okay, I've done 2 medium-sized onions here, and just chopped them into rough pieces, and I dropped a whole bunch on the floor. I'm going to do a little bit more here.
I don't wonder you dropped them on the floor.
These are non-crying onions, these ones. I was going to bring my carving tools to do this, but...
Now, there's another thing. I don't want to diversify too much from the cooking, but is it an expensive hobby, Bill, this carving?
Like any hobby, you can take it as far as you want. But
Yeah.
I've done many things with just the jackknife that turned out almost as good as that piece there.
Is there a market for these?
Well, I suppose if you're carving for cash, we call it.
Yeah.
There is. I've seen a number of people who do loons and things that are very popular and sell quite well. But when you're doing them like I do and put, for instance, the hawk, I put 150 hours in that bird. And it's a labor of love, and it's one of a kind item, and I'm really not doing them for sale. It's because it would be hard to
That's right.
to reap.
Well, you couldn't. It's like any other handcraft. You would really never get paid for the hours you put into it.
That's what happens.
I think of Bob Elliott, though, the carver, and he started out doing it as a hobby.
That's right.
And then gave them out as gifts, and then they became so very popular.
Well, you know,
now his are all over the world.
That's right, and because he entered the World Championships and won 5 times. And,
well, that'll do it every time, won't it?
He won 5 times because he is a fantastic
And now that was just starting out with, I think he started out with the jackknife. I know
That's true.
He had little tools that he'd made himself.
He's been carving for a number of years and has brought a craft really into an art form.
I think so, right.
And that's really something to be said for a local guy who's won 5 world championships.
Yeah.
Do you have something to stir with here?
Yes,
wooden
we
spoon
have, right in here, Dolly, right. Whoops, sir. Every time I move.
Oh! Thank you. What I'm going to do here is just saute these onions and mushrooms once I get them cut up here.
Do you want me to help with the mushrooms or anything? We're losing our set here.
We sure are, yeah. And get these going until the onions kind of go a transparent color, and then I'll chop up the chicken.
So that's onions, mushrooms.
Onions and mushrooms so far in the pan with a little butter and oil. And so we're just going to get these started and then get the chicken in there to get it to brown.
I can use that other knife and cut some of these mushrooms for you.
Yeah. Okay. Speed things along a little bit.
Yeah, because we just have the half hour. But we want people to realize that all of these recipes, like we do have a lot of fun while we're cooking, but all of these recipes are good, and they will be at the desk, our front desk eventually. When we pin the fellas down to bring the recipes, that's when we'll have them at the front desk.
This dish that I'm doing, Grace, the curd chicken, is really a fairly simple dish.
Is that an Indian dish, like from East India?
Well, most of the curry dishes are, but
Yeah.
I think this is a kind of an Ontario variation on the dish, where we add the apple, and it makes it really a nice.
I wouldn't think that you'd be into cooking birds when you carve them.
Well, you know, I've never carved a chicken, so I really don't feel bad about cooking this guy.
The hawk is certainly enjoying it, I'll tell you.
It's funny, you know, when you do carvings, you really do learn to appreciate not only the birds themselves, but all of nature, because you do so much research when you're doing this. And you really come to understand what they're all about. You learn their habitat and their...
Well, you know, for years I didn't ever put a bird feeder up because I always had cats.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I still have a cat, but I did put a big bird feeder up this year away from the cats able to get it. And I don't know when I've enjoyed anything so much to see that there was one that I'll have to get a bird book now to find to decide which birds are which anymore, because the blue jays I know, the chickadees I know, but this was a red one and it wasn't a robin, it was all red.
It was probably a pine grosbeak.
It was a large bird.
Large red bird.
Yeah, all red.
With a kind of stubby
funny beak. Yeah, like a parrot. What is that?
Pine grosbeak.
See, you've done your research, and now a pine grosbeak.
Although, you know, through the winter...
Are they rare?
No, they're quite common here. And
so
they usually come in flocks.
Yeah, they'll come back.
They usually come to your feeders in flocks all through the winter.
Good. Oh, that's good.
You'll get the evening grosbeak too, that is a yellow and black color.
Oh, I've seen those.
Same type of bird.
This one was beautiful.
Yeah. And oh yeah, they're really a striking bird. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think there's anything more enjoyable than having a feeder and watching the activity around it in the wintertime. It's incredible. Just going to put a little bit more butter in there. Now, once we get these going the way they're going, this is really messy here.
I'm relaxing on this one, Billy. I know you know what you're doing.
That's good. I like to use the butter with the mushrooms and the onions because I don't think you can really beat the taste.
The flavor is so good
of the mushrooms and the butter together.
Well, as you say, once in a while we can splurge. Although we have people here at the station who are watching their cholesterol and they will not touch any of the cooking that we're doing. Albert Jones is...
Well, you know, I'm really enjoying this time in my life because after being on dialysis for 4.5 years and being on such a restrictive diet, now the whole world has kind of opened up to me again, and I'm really enjoying the different foods and different things that I can now enjoy. That
Billy, and the time is your own now, where you were spending 4 hours 3 times a week.
That's right.
And
it does take a lot of time on your life.
That's right.
Yeah. And that well, probably takes up all the time that I have.
Right, and Karen has her garden, and I'm sure you what is it, you built her a gazebo and several things for the garden?
I built her a fairly large gazebo this year, Well, we've done...
We have to take a break, Bill. I can't believe it. We're just moving right along here. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back. While you were watching that commercial, Billy was cutting up some chicken breasts that have been skinned and boned. How many did you use? About 7 or 8?
I used 7 small boneless chicken breasts. And I've just got these browning in the pan here. And
you put them in on top of the onions and the mushrooms?
Yeah, I try to get them in so that they're touching the pan so that they'll brown. Because there is a fair amount of bulk in here already. But this is one of the nice things about this dish, is when it is done, you really don't, when you take a forkful, you don't know what you're getting. It's a real...
Surprise!
It's a surprise.
There's a chicken foot there.
Chicken foot.
Or a hawk or something.
So we're just letting this chicken brown in the pan here.
How did you cut those? Just in...
well, I guess you would call it cubes. So we just cube up our chicken.
1-inch cubes, eh?
Fairly bulky. These are 2 small pieces, so...
Yeah.
But you make these about the same size as you've chunked up your onion. So that everything remains about the same size. And,
so you're right then, you don't really know whether you're getting chicken or... That's good though. Now this, as you say, without the butter, this is a great dish because there's absolutely...
very little fat and cholesterol.
That's right, you've got onions and mushrooms. They say there's absolutely nothing in mushrooms but moisture.
Celery and apples. And
oh, celery.
We're really getting into the health food here. Now, what I'm going to do right now that this chicken is browning a bit is add some curry powder to this mixture now. And I don't measure anything. I just
drop it in.
Plop it in my hand and say that's enough. So I'll plop it in my hand here and we'll say
that's enough.
That'll be enough. Because I'm going to add a little bit more when I put in the apple. What would you say that is?
That's about a teaspoon.
Teaspoon?
A little less than a teaspoon.
You see, we can sprinkle this over here fairly evenly.
You know, anybody that measures like that does a lot of cooking, because you know.
Well, I guess you kind of go by taste.
I think so.
Would you hand me a paper towel there, Grace?
Certainly would.
I'm a messy cook. You have to see the kitchen when I'm done. But I'm lucky to have a 12-year-old girl that really can clean up with a little convincing. So just
I can smell the curry now.
Mix that around a little bit so that curry gets on most of the chicken.
Actually, chicken done like that doesn't take too long to cook, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's just, although you like chicken to be well cooked, You can get this both sides of this brown fairly well. How are we doing for time, guys?
I guess we're running out of it very quickly here.
Okay, so what we'll do then is I don't bother skinning these apples or anything. I just wash them really well. And I use the skins and everything in the apple.
Those are Granny Smiths?
These are Granny Smith. Yeah, the delicious work well too.
Is
but
that
the cooking apple doesn't. It goes mushy in the pan. And what I do is just same thing I did with everything else, is just make it into about the same size chunks as everything else that you've done. So we'll just do up these apples into chunks here and put them in. Get them.
I like the combination of curry and apple. That's good.
It's really interesting because the apple picks up the flavor of the curry and creates almost a sweet taste.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting dish. Too bad we didn't have Snoopy here, Paul, because I'm sure I'm dropping a lot of stuff.
We missed Snoopy this year. Has he gone to
I thought I was, after the last show that Paul and I did, I thought I was banned from your show forever. But.
Well, it was a year, Bill. There was a lapse there of a year.
Humane Society called, and it was terrible.
It was a lapse of a year.
Well, you notice I've done a straight show. I haven't swung in there.
I might say that we're having Paulo on next, about 6 shows from now.
Oh, well, strange things may happen.
And what we should notice is all the...
ketchup sandwiches.
Paul is famous for his ketchup sandwiches.
Ketchup sandwiches.
We were on a hunting trip with Paul one time, or a fishing trip. We put him in charge of lunch. And all the guys returned from the river starving to death, and Paul had prepared ketchup sandwiches and cookies.
Paulo. That's why he had Snoopy with him, to protect him, I think, all those years. Now he has 2 gorgeous sons that won't eat, I don't think they're going to eat ketchup sandwiches.
Well, he's going to have to learn how to cook, that's all.
Does he?
Now we get these apples chunked up in here.
And I can start to smell the apples at 5 minutes, Billy. How's it
5
going?
minutes, oh, we're going to be in fine shape then.
Okay.
I think. This should really simmer for about 5 minutes. So.
I love those Granny Smiths. They're so crunchy.
These are really beautiful looking apples.
Gorgeous.
Seems that our produce this time of year is really good, eh?
Yeah.
So we get these apples going in here. I'm going to add a little bit more curry so that the apples have a sprinkle of curry on them. And
from one who eats apples right down to the stem, you're throwing away the best part of the apple, Billy.
Well, I'm kind of in a hurry.
Right.
Normally I'd take them right down to the core and get every piece of apple off there. This is coming really nice.
Oh, is it ever? And you don't want the apples soft, do you?
No, a little crunchy is nice. We're going to add to this some celery. Maybe if you could just slice me up some celery there,
lengthwise?
And I'll look after this part of it.
Like
Not
that?
too fine.
Okay.
Now add a little bit more curry to that, about the same amount as we added before, so that would be 2 teaspoons of curry.
Yeah.
And I'll just guess at it here.
The reason I'm sitting on a stool is because we're not the same height, Billy. That's why it is.
Definitely not.
You're not too short and I'm not too tall. We're just not the same height, that's all.
Well, you can smell the aroma that curry makes when it hits the apple, and it really fills the house. Yeah, it really stinks.
Oh, Paulo, you better be good.
Smell-o-vision here.
We have some excellent chefs on this. I told you that Jim Cronin asked if there were going to be any prizes for the winners.
Oh, is that right?
I said, we'll be lucky if we get letters.
Did Jim cook Bambi again at Christmas?
No, we refused, but he did say the next time he's on, he's going to cook a rabbit.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know.
I hope it's Easter.
I know. It better not be. The Easter bunny, eh?
Oh, that's good.
That lots?
We saved the celery till the end.
Almost the end, Bill.
We want the celery, that's great.
Enough?
We want the celery kind of chunky and crisp.
Smells good. Paulo's polishing off those apples.
Yeah.
I can hear him over here.
He's eating them away there. Now, if we had a lid for this pot, we'd just maybe let it simmer.
We don't have a lid. I I was hoping Joe Boyle would get in on the cooking this year because he always came up with some recipes that he travels quite a bit. And he
Joe always
brought
had some interesting from other lands, yeah. I remember one year he was Pancho Villa or something.
Yeah, he came in with a sombrero on. He did a Mexican dish. Excellent.
That's right, yeah.
2
now
minutes
to this,
left. I can't believe it.
I'm going to add
What are we going to cook?
a little bit of slivered almond.
Ah, lovely.
A little bit of slivers there. That'll give you another little bit of crunch.
Oh, Billy,
And
that looks
with
great.
these crisp vegetables in the curry. Now, ideally, if we had a lid, we'd put a lid on that and let it
Kinda
simmer just
steam
for a
it a
little
little
while,
bit,
let it
eh?
steam a bit. Maybe
just keep stirring
maybe
so
we
we
can just
don't
keep
burn
stirring it. How much time do we have left then?
About a minute.
Very
Oh,
good.
well,
that'll
we're going
do
to be
it.
in good shape then.
Because I think people like their vegetables al dente, don't they?
A little crunchy is
Yeah.
is nice to have the vegetables like that. I'm going to just add a touch more curry over the top of that. I can almost tell by the smell that there's not enough.
Not enough curry?
So we're probably
That's
going to
the
be at
Irish in you,
3.
Billy. That's the Irish in you.
Probably going to be at 3 teaspoons
I
of curry
think
then.
we have 3 teaspoons in there.
Now, if you let this simmer a little bit longer with the lid on it, the apples will go a little bit of a brown color.
Oh,
They'll
right.
pick up the
curry.
flavor from the chicken and the curry, and it'll be just wonderful.
Oh, that looks great. That really looks good.
The hawk hasn't moved off his perch, so it can't be that good
Never
yet.
taken his eye off the chicken either. There he is. He's watching that chicken.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chicken.
I saw some of the squirrels you did too, Billy, and I think that would be disgusting if I ever thought the hawk was going to chew on one of those little squirrels. You put character into the face of your squirrels.
I try
like
to do
that.
that. Some
I
of the
like
little
that.
animals that I do.
Yeah.
I don't just do birds. I do animals
Yeah.
too because they're interesting.
Billy, we're going to move over to the other set now so
All right.
that people can see the finished product of, what's the special name for that, Bill?
Well, I just call it curry surprise. It's a
That's
surprise if I get it
surprise.
right.
There's the hawk and he's watching the chicken. We'll be back. Well, it looks as if the hawk is begrudging us this chicken, Bill.
I think so. I
It's
threw him a
excellent.
piece there, but yeah.
It's excellent.
It's,
I think that extra bit of curry was just right.
It's a little bit, you could add more curry. It's really to taste. I added a total of 3 teaspoons of curry, but you can make it a little hotter than that.
And I like the combination of the curry and the green apples.
The apple picks up the curry flavor.
Well, my guest has been none other than Chef Bill Kernahan. Thanks again, Bill.
Thank you.
Appreciate this.